Erynn from Vendoo, and today I'm going to talk about tips for being a reseller and a stay-at-home mom. You mamas have your hands full. Trust me, I can relate. But one of the many wonderful things about being a reseller is that we are rewarded so much flexibility to be our own boss, work when we can, involve the kiddos, and to also be here at home with them. So in this video, we'll explore tips to being a mom and a reseller. Before we do, let me invite you to subscribe to our channel. We publish content all the time, and it's all related to Vendoo product tips, community updates, and information about how to scale and grow your resale business. My first tip is if you have a baby, to wear the baby, because they love to be with you and I have my hands free to work. But my first real tip is to batch work. Batch working is so much more efficient, especially when you have little ones that need you 24/7. So rather than work by item, for example, taking one item, preparing one item, photographing one item, listing one item, I do sprints of different types of work. And whether you are a mom or not, this is a great tip to working more effectively and efficiently. So I will photograph a ton of items in one day, and that's that day's plan. Batch work in reselling, as in life, will make you work faster and smarter. Huh, Jack?
Mommy.
1 second, sweetheart. My next tip for all of you mamas is that you might need to change your sourcing model. As you can imagine, the thrift store with children and babies is not quite as fun, but we need to source to sell. So I have gotten very creative in the way that I source because I don't always have the luxury of solo trips. I source a lot online. You can look into wholesalers, you can look into liquidation companies, and you can look right on the marketplaces themselves. I'm gonna link below a video I created with some tips and tricks of how I source on the platforms like Poshmark so that I can flip the items on the same platforms. Sourcing online or creatively will be a lifesaver if you're busy with the little ones. All right, my next tip is to just give them an electronic and let that babysit them. No, I'm totally kidding. But I will say that I do use screen time strategically. You know, they advise against too much screen time, and I'm certainly not giving you parenting advice, but I know that I do allow it sometimes, but I allow it strategically. Screen time is when I get to be the most effective because they are entertained. And when you utilize that in a convenient manner, you can have really productive sprints of work that you otherwise are not going to get. My last tip, which is so important, is to enlist help when you can. Yes, I know we do not all have that luxury of childcare, of babysitters, and of any time to ourselves. But what I did before hiring help for my business is I considered hiring help for my home. It's really hard for me to get someone that can work for me that knows how to resell and do what I do, but it's not quite as hard for me to get someone to work with me and help do things like look after the kids, dishes, and the day-to-day housework. So the first step in scaling my business was having some of the tasks covered so that I myself can spend more time in my business. And I think that that's a really good place to start. Mamas, you are killing it. We literally do it all. So if you're a mompreneur or a dadpreneur, extra shout out to you. Link below is my blog with even more tips and tricks for you reselling mamas and dads. I'll see you next time, reseller friends.